kneeling hip flexor stretch. So this is gonna be a really great side body stretch as well as hip flexor, but that is the main focus. So we're gonna start off in a half kneeling position. So get yourself set up so that your knee is directly above your ankle so that you are fully stabilized in the front side. And then before you do anything else, like you know from most things that we do, we're gonna tuck our pelvis in so that our hips are nice and square and we're not pushing back into the lumbar spine here. So you might automatically feel a stretch in your hip flexor as soon as you tuck your tailbone in, because now you're creating space and length from the top of your hip down into your quadricep. Instead of shrinking it together, closing off, we are expanding open, okay? So then what you're gonna do there is you're gonna reach that back leg, you're gonna reach the same arm up towards the sky. If this isn't available to you, that's okay. You can either come down here, you can keep your hand behind your head, whatever works best for you. Ideally, you're gonna bring your arm high. And then what I want you to do is keep your core engaged. You're gonna reach up and grab on with your other hand. Grab onto your wrist, or you can keep your hand on your thigh if that works better for you. This way you're gonna get a deeper stretch. Big inhale, and I want you to keep your hips exactly where you are and lean out of your hips over to the side. So your hips stay square, your glutes stay activated, and you're opening up to that hip flexor, really getting, I'd say about 50% of how far you normally would go if you just let your hips do whatever they felt like. And this way you can feel a stretch through your lat, through your oblique, all the way down to that hip, and then you're gonna slowly come back up on your next inhale, and then settle down again. So again, tuck your tailbone back in. We're gonna do that one more time. Big reach to the fingertips, and then lean over. You might even feel this, I feel this all the way into my rib cage. Depends on where you're tight, where you're active, what you've been working the last couple of days, okay? So keep that in the back of your mind. And then hopefully you can feel this all the way through that lat and into your tricep as well. Come back up. Now the last time that we're gonna do, if you need to, if you have poor circulation, I know I do, shake your hands out, get some blood flow back in. Then this next time you're gonna let your hip pop out to the side while you do this. It's gonna create a little bit more of that crescent moon effect and allow for a little bit more of a stretch all the way from the base of your knee, the outside of that quad or your bicep femoris, all the way out through the entire outside of your body. So now we're gonna reach back up. I like to sit nice and tall, keep the pelvis tucked in, and then pop the hip out while I lean over. You're gonna get probably another 10 to 30 degrees of mobility here, and you might feel a deeper stretch all the way through that outside of your oblique, down into the outside of that hip there. Big breath, so big inhale, reach to the fingertips. Exhale, sit a little bit deeper, maybe pull yourself that little bit further, and slowly come back up. Now you're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So remember, getting yourself set up, you're gonna plant knee right above your ankle, tuck your tailbone in so that you have that nice squared off pelvis, both hip flexors pointed forward, and then you're gonna reach up, lean over. You're gonna do this twice. Stay there for 2 to 3 breaths. Come back in. Once you've done that second round, then you're gonna let that hip pop open, get nice and sassy there, and open up to the outside of your rib cage on that second side. Come back in, and you can get up however you feel like, whether it's pushing through the heel to stand up, or you can bring your knee down if you're moving into another stretch.